Welcome back for another deep dive. You guys sent in some pretty wild stuff for us to dig into today.
It's like we're going deep into the world of music today.
Definitely. We've got some excerpts from Sir Louis Siciliano's podcast, MUMEx,
Yeah.
and a whole collection of abstracts, too.
Oh, all of it.
All exploring some pretty mind-bending ideas at the intersection of music, technology,
Yeah.
and even quantum physics.
And it sounds like we're in for a ride. So what's this Siciliano all about?
Buckle up, because where Siciliano goes, things get really interesting. He's not just composing music.
Yeah.
He's proposing a whole new framework for thinking about it.
Ambitious.
It really is. He calls this project MUMEx, which stands for Music Multiverse Exploration.
Music multiverse exploration.
It's kind of like how Einstein was searching for a unified theory to explain the universe.
Right.
But instead of gravity and electromagnetism, Siciliano's working with sound algorithms.
Interesting.
And even consciousness.
Okay, this is getting interesting.
Right. One of the most intriguing things he proposes is this idea of quantum music.
Quantum music. So like music inspired by quantum mechanics?
Well, not just inspired by it.
Wow.
He's suggesting that music can actually embody quantum principles like superposition
Superposition, okay.
and entanglement.
Hold on. Are we talking about musical notes existing in multiple states at once?
That's exactly what he's suggesting.
So like instead of subatomic particles,
Uh-huh.
it's the notes themselves that are in superposition.
Yep. It's like Schrodinger's cat, but with a symphony.
Wow. Okay, so a melody could be both major and minor at the same time until someone listens to it?
Precisely. The act of listening, the observation,
Right.
collapses those possibilities into the music we experience.
That's wild. So how does he actually create this quantum music?
Well, he uses some pretty advanced software
Yeah.
and algorithms that model quantum behavior.
Okay, so there's a method to the madness. It's not just random notes being thrown together.
Not at all. But it does raise an interesting question. If the music's being created by algorithms, what does that mean for the role of the composer?
Right. Does this make human composers obsolete?
That's a big question, and Siciliano grapples with it himself. He sees this technology as a collaborator, a tool that can push the boundaries of musical creation.
Okay, so a partnership between human and machine.
Exactly. He even brings in concepts from fractal theory and swarm behavior.
Fractal theory and swarm behavior. How does that work with music?
It creates music that's dynamic, unpredictable, and constantly changing.
That's pretty far out. So we talking like algorithms churning out random noise here.
Not exactly. Siciliano introduces another fascinating concept here.
Okay.
Floating fractals.
Floating fractals. I'm intrigued.
Instead of thinking of fractals as like static images,
Right.
think of those ever-changing patterns you see in nature, like coastlines or clouds.
Oh, I see. So the music is fractal, but it's constantly in motion.
Exactly. He uses something called Brownian motion,
Brownian motion.
which introduces controlled randomness into the fractal structure.
So it's structured, but unpredictable.
It's like watching a flock of birds all moving independently,
Right.
but somehow forming a cohesive whole.
I could see that. And this has implications beyond music, right?
Oh, absolutely. Siciliano sees floating fractals being applied in fields like cryptography,
Cryptography.
medicine, environmental science, even material design.
Wow. That's pretty amazing.
It's about finding patterns and order within seemingly random systems.
So from abstract mathematical concepts to the building blocks of reality, Siciliano really covers a lot of ground.
He doesn't stop there. He also dives into something a bit more down to earth, the power of live music performance.
Ah, back to the real world.
He even ties this back to quantum mechanics. He describes live performance as an exchange of energy.
Energy. How so?
He draws on ideas like animal magnetism.
Wait, like hypnotism? What does that have to do with music?
Think about that electric atmosphere you feel at a live concert.
Yeah, I get it.
Siciliano argues that there's a real tangible energy exchange happening between the performer and the audience.
Real.
It's this connection, this shared energy that creates the magic.
Interesting. So it's not just the sound itself,
Uh-huh.
but the energy of everyone present, the musicians and the audience.
Exactly. And he believes this energetic connection can foster a sense of community,
Oh.
a feeling of belonging,
Hmm.
even promote well-being.
I can see that.
It's something you just don't get when you're listening through headphones.
Right. There's something special about that shared experience.
And he connects this to the way social media affects our perception of the world.
Social media, that's a big leap.
He's worried that social media, while seemingly liberating,
Yeah.
can distort our perceptions, making us focus on idealized versions of ourselves,
On others.
leading to a sense of isolation.
So even though we're more connected than ever,
Right.
we might actually be losing the ability to connect authentically.
That's his concern. It makes you wonder, are we sacrificing genuine connection for the illusion of connection?
That's a great question. Food for thought, for sure.
It is. And Siciliano doesn't just leave us with these concerns.
Oh.
He's also optimistic about technology's potential to enhance human experience.
Okay.
He sees music as a powerful tool for unlocking human potential
Interesting.
and explores the fascinating connection between musical training and cognitive science.
So there are actual cognitive benefits to playing music.
Absolutely. Siciliano explains how musical training, especially with those complex polyphonic compositions, can actually improve brain function,
Like how?
enhancing things like memory, focus, and problem-solving skills.
Wow, so learning an instrument could actually make you smarter. Wish I'd known that earlier.
Right. And it's not just about physically playing music.
Oh.
He talks about musical imagination.
Musical imagination.
Just imagining yourself playing can activate similar brain regions as actually performing.
So just thinking about playing music can have a positive impact.
Exactly. He highlights the incredible power of visualization.
That's incredible. It seems like he's challenging us to see music not just as entertainment,
Yes.
but as a tool for growth
Right.
and self-improvement.
He even touches upon quantum hypnotherapy as a way to unlock deeper levels of the psyche through music.
Quantum hypnotherapy, that's getting pretty deep.
It's all part of his vision for a listening civilization.
A listening civilization.
A world where we prioritize intuitive learning and artistic expression over rigidly following musical scores.
So it's about moving beyond the notes on the page.
Yes. He wants to cultivate a society that values creativity,
Intuition.
and deep listening.
This is a radical vision. It makes you wonder, what would a society that truly prioritized listening look like? What kind of music would we create? How would it change how we interact with each other and the world around us?
These are exactly the questions Siciliano wants us to ask. He's not just presenting theories. He's inviting us to participate in this grand exploration of music and its possibilities.
I like that. It's about opening ourselves up to new ways of thinking and experiencing music.
And just when you think it can't get any more mind-bending, he throws in a connection to Jungian psychology.
Yeah, and psychology.
Specifically, the concept of the collective unconscious.
Wow. Okay, now we're going deep. What's the connection there?
He argues that certain types of music, which he calls archetypal music,
Archetypal music.
can tap into universal patterns of human experience.
So like music that speaks a language that transcends culture and time.
Exactly. A language that resonates deep within our souls.
That makes me think about how certain pieces of music can give you goosebumps,
Yes.
no matter where you're from.
There's something deeply moving, almost primal about those experiences.
I totally agree. So what is this archetypal music? Specific genres? Composers?
He doesn't specify particular pieces,
Okay.
but he suggests that certain musical elements, rhythms, harmonies, timbres,
Right.
can evoke these universal emotional responses.
Like the power of a simple drum beat
Yes.
or a haunting minor chord progression.
Those sounds speak to our shared humanity.
I like that. Music as a universal language of the soul.
And he believes this archetypal music can be used therapeutically
Oh.
to access and work with the unconscious mind.
Wow, to heal and grow.
It's incredible. We've gone from quantum physics to the depths of the psyche.
And it seems like Siciliano's journey is just getting started. This is turning out to be a truly epic deep dive. Where do we go from here?
Well, from the depths of the psyche, he takes us to an even more unexpected place.
More unexpected. I'm on the edge of my seat. Tell me more.
The rhythms of life itself.
Rhythms of life. Okay, you've definitely got my attention. This is where things get really interesting.
Get ready, because this is where Siciliano's work gets really mind-bending.
Well, I am ready. Bring it on. Let's dive in.
Let's do it.
Welcome back. We're in the middle of exploring some really out there ideas about music and the universe.
Definitely. We're talking about Sir Louis Siciliano and his mind-blowing work.
Last we left off, you mentioned Siciliano finds a connection between music and life itself. Something about exploring the rhythms of life.
Oh yeah, get ready for this one. He connects the rhythmic patterns of bata drums.
The bata drums.
Yeah, they're used in Yoruba ceremonies.
Okay.
He connects those drum patterns to genetic sequences like DNA and RNA.
Wait, hold on. drums and DNA, how can those two possibly be related?
I know, it sounds crazy, right? But he converts the drum patterns into binary code.
Ones and zeros.
Yep. And then he uses bioinformatics tools to compare them to DNA and RNA sequences.
So he's basically translating the language of music into the language of life.
Exactly. It's like he's searching for a musical code of life hidden within these ancient rhythms.
Wow, that's pretty wild. And does he actually find anything?
You're not going to believe this, but he finds the correlations between these ancient rhythms and known genetic sequences.
Is he seriously suggesting that drum rhythms could hold some kind of encoded genetic information?
He suggests it as a possibility. It raises some pretty wild questions.
Yeah, like where did these rhythms come from?
Exactly. Could they have been passed down from advanced ancient civilizations?
Or even like extraterrestrial sources. It sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie.
I know, right? It makes you wonder if music can reflect the building blocks of life itself. What other secrets might be hidden within its structure?
That's a great question. It seems like Siciliano is always pushing the boundaries of our understanding of music.
He really is. He's bridging the gap between scientific theory and artistic practice.
So how does he actually translate biological processes into music? We talked earlier about his bio-inspired compositions.
Yeah, so imagine listening to a musical representation of your body regulating temperature.
Okay.
That's what he does. He maps these complex natural phenomena onto musical parameters.
The music is like a sonic reflection of those processes.
Exactly. For example, he might use the fluctuations in temperature during thermoregulation to control the density of notes or the dynamic intensity of a piece.
So you're actually hearing the music of the body.
It's pretty amazing. And he does something similar with fractal growth.
Right, those ever-changing patterns we talked about earlier.
He uses algorithms based on fractal patterns to generate melodies and rhythms that evolve in unpredictable ways.
But still organic, like in nature.
Exactly. There's an underlying structure, but there's also this element of surprise.
It's like he's creating these sonic ecosystems.
I like that. Musical representations of the forces that shape our world.
And what about his idea of algorithmic evolution? Does that mean the music is composing itself?
In a way, yes. He sets up parameters and then lets the algorithm go.
So it's like a musical survival of the fittest.
Exactly. Only the strongest melodies and rhythms survive.
Wow. So he's not just composing, he's creating systems that allow music to compose itself.
He's found a way to breathe life into the music.
That's a great way to put it. This is so innovative. It really pushes the boundaries of what we think of as composition.
It really does. It opens up a whole universe of possibilities. But besides those bio-inspired techniques, what are some other ways he integrates science into his music?
Well, we touched on his work with electronic music earlier.
Right, and that Gravasano studio in Switzerland.
It was a hotbed of innovation.
Hermann Scherchen, the founder,
a true pioneer in electronic music,
was fascinated by technology's potential to create new sounds.
And Siciliano was hugely influenced by him.
He sees Scherchen as a visionary, someone who paved the way for contemporary electronic music.
So what kind of crazy stuff were they doing at Gravasano? Give me some examples.
They were experimenting with all sorts of techniques, additive and subtractive synthesis, frequency and amplitude modulation.
All groundbreaking stuff.
It's mind-boggling to think they were doing this without computers.
I know, right? What kind of equipment did they even use?
Early synthesizers, barely able to generate basic waveforms.
So they were really pushing the limits of what was possible.
They were true pioneers. It's amazing to see how far electronic music has come since then.
Yeah, and Siciliano has definitely carried the torch, exploring those possibilities even further with his MUMEx framework.
And he's not just fascinated by the technology.
Right.
He's interested in the psychological effects of sound. He connects music's power to influence our thoughts and emotions.
It's powerful stuff.
He even brings up mesmerism.
Mesmerism, like hypnotism.
He links that 18th century theory about animal magnetism to the energy exchange between performer and audience.
So is he suggesting music can have a hypnotic effect, like it can tap into our subconscious?
He definitely sees music as a way to access those deeper parts of ourselves. And he thinks live performance is especially powerful for that.
So it's not just listening to the sounds. It's about entering a collective trance. A shared experience that goes beyond just the music itself.
Exactly. It's like music can tap into this universal energy and channel it through the performance, creating this connection, not just between the musicians and the audience, but between all of us and something much larger.
That's a beautiful idea. It speaks to this deep connection between music, the human psyche, and the cosmos.
It really does. It's amazing how Siciliano blends these ancient ideas with cutting-edge technology.
Absolutely. Speaking of technology, we haven't talked much about its role in his vision for the future of music.
Right. Like, what does he think about artificial intelligence and its impact on musical creation?
Ah, that's a great question. Siciliano's thoughts on AI are super relevant here.
So is he talking about robots replacing human musicians? Is that the future he sees?
Not exactly. He sees AI as a powerful collaborator.
A tool to help us explore new sonic possibilities.
Exactly, like things we couldn't even imagine on our own.
So it's more about augmenting human creativity than replacing it.
Yeah, giving composers and performers new tools to push their creative boundaries.
I like that, expanding their horizons.
Right. He imagines these AI algorithms working alongside human musicians,
Generating new ideas.
helping us understand music's deeper structure.
And creating totally novel sounds.
It's about enhancing the creative process, pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
It sounds like he's not afraid of technology at all.
He embraces it.
He sees it as a way to unlock even more of music's potential.
It's refreshing to hear that, especially now when people are worried about technology replacing human creativity.
He's a true forward thinker. He wants us to move past our fears and embrace the unknown.
To let music lead us on a journey of discovery.
That's a great way to put it. It's clear he's not afraid to challenge conventions.
To push the envelope.
He's a visionary, not just creating music,
Right.
but creating a new way of thinking about it.
And experiencing it.
And understanding its power.
His work is a testament to interdisciplinary thinking.
Absolutely. Blending music, science, technology, even spirituality.
It's something truly unique and transformative.
It really is. Before we move on, I want to ask our listeners something.
Hmm.
How do you see technology shaping your own relationship with music? Are you excited about the possibilities or wary of the pitfalls?
Yeah, take a moment to think about that.
Because we're about to dive into Siciliano's ultimate vision, oral civilization. Welcome back to our deep dive into the mind of Sir Louis Siciliano. We've covered his quantum music, his exploration of music and genetics, and his belief in music's power to unlock human potential. Now it's time to talk about his ultimate vision, oral civilization. What is that exactly?
Oral civilization is where all these ideas we've talked about come together. It's Siciliano's attempt to create a global movement, a shift in how we experience the world.
So it's more than just like going to concerts or listening to music on headphones.
Way more. It's about making deep listening a core human value. It's about mindful engagement with sound and creating genuine human connection.
It seems like that would be a pretty radical change, especially in today's world. Everything's so noisy and distracting.
Right. Siciliano believes that our constant reliance on technology has actually led us to disconnect from our senses
Of our body.
and from the present moment.
So oral civilization is a way to kind of reclaim those lost connections.
Exactly. It's about tuning in to the symphony of life that's unfolding all around us all the time.
Okay, I love the concept, but how does he actually bring oral civilization to life? What does it look like in practice?
He creates these incredible immersive events that combine music, art, science, and sustainability. Imagine walking into a space where you're not just listening to music, but experiencing it with all your senses.
So it's more than just a typical concert.
Think multisensory, visual art, performance art, even elements of nature woven in.
Wow, okay.
And it's not passive. The participants are co-creating the experience, building community.
It sounds like a new kind of ritual space, a place for people to connect with something larger than themselves.
That's a great way to put it.
Does this tie into his emphasis on eco-consciousness?
Definitely. He's very intentional about the environmental impact of these events, using sustainable materials, renewable energy, local food vendors.
Creating a harmonious relationship between ourselves, each other, and the planet. It's a beautiful vision, this global community united by sound, celebrating creativity, committed to a sustainable future. What kind of people are drawn to this movement?
It's a really diverse group. Artists, musicians, scientists, thinkers, all kinds of people who resonate with Siciliano's vision.
It's really a testament to the power of music to connect people.
Across all disciplines.
Cultures.
Yeah.
It seems like he's not just trying to change the way we listen to music, but the way we listen to each other.
And the world around us.
He thinks that by working together and truly listening to each other, we can create a more harmonious world.
He sees sound as a powerful tool for positive change, for healing, for connection.
It's powerful stuff and inspiring to see someone so passionate about music's potential to change the world.
It's about moving beyond just passively consuming music.
Right.
engaging with it actively, using it for growth, both personal and collective.
And ultimately creating a more beautiful world.
This has been quite the deep dive.
It really has. We've explored so many fascinating ideas, and it's clear that Sir Louis Siciliano is a true visionary. He's pushing the boundaries of music and inspiring us to listen more deeply, to ourselves, to each other, and to the symphony of the universe.
From quantum music and floating fractals to the rhythms of life and the collective unconscious, Siciliano's work invites us to explore the infinite possibilities of sound.
It's a reminder that music is more than something we hear. It's something we feel, something we experience with our whole being.
And while our exploration ends here today, we encourage you to continue listening, to explore the music multiverse, and to discover the magic that awaits within the world of sound.
Who knows what wonders you might hear?